What's up, squad? Back with another video. I seen the titles going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. So it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Definitely for Minnesota, as you know, for Ilhan Omar, for Tim Walz, for other Somalians, in Minnesota alone. Got Ilhan Omar on President Trump's first travel ban. Check out what she says.
So do you think President Trump doesn't want people like you in the country? Because he says it's not personal, it's national security.
Yeah. I mean, I think, if we were really being honest about what could be masqueraded as a national security issue, we know that no one from any of these countries has ever posed a threat within this country. And so we know that for him and his supporters, this is just a political football, and they're using our communities and people who look like me as leverage.
So let me explain something. Let me explain something to y'all that I find completely insane. What is their definition of crime or a threat? Because I find it insane. You see so many things that's happening in these different cities, and it's definitely horrible. Definitely horrible. You got here Caroline Levitt literally explaining of things that they're continuing doing, in Minnesota. Check it out.
Not only do these people serve as a national security threat, they are also draining the resources of American taxpayers. Look no further than the great state of Minnesota that has been run into the ground by Democrat leadership, Governor Walz, who is completely incompetent. The Somali migration invasion of Minneapolis, where we now have fraud rings of Somali migrants who are stealing nearly $1 billion worth of taxpayer benefits in that city alone. And don't take it from me, the New York Times, of all places, reported on that this week. And so we must be a country with laws. We must be a country with law and order. That's what President Trump and his entire national security team, Secretary Noem, Tom Homan, the entire White House is working on every day to restore. And the American people cannot forget the long years of wide open borders that brought us to this point today.
Exactly. Definitely. I feel like so many people need to realize that. Obviously, the people that are in a Reckless family and watch me, or people that just tap on, y'all hear me saying, y'all see me call it out. These are definitely things that we see, but there's others that obviously need to see what's really going on. And honestly, a lot of them do. A lot of them see it. That's the crazy part about it. And they're allowing it, enabling it. And it's sad and sickening that they're continue to do that. I'm telling y'all. This here is a resident of Minnesota. Literally, I'm pretty sure he is a mechanic. He's either a maintenance mechanic, something like that. I think maintenance. And he says he goes in these, different buildings and stuff like that, and he sees nothing but Somali family. Check it out.
I'm from Minneapolis, and Somalians are just part of the culture here. As far back as I can remember, I've always seen Somalians. And in these past 5 years, the population increased so much. It went from seeing them to them feeling like the majority a lot of places that I go. And also, over the past few years, I've noticed that I see a lot of them with new cars. So I'm a handyman, and I worked on a lot of Section 8 housing to make sure they're up to standard. And one thing I've noticed when I go to these Section 8 houses, one, it's usually a Somali family. And what I mean usually, it's 9 times out of 10. And those houses usually have new cars in the front. I mean cars with an S, multiple new cars. And what I mean usually is like 8 out of 10 Somali houses, I've seen that. And I always wondered how someone on Section 8 can afford multiple new cars. I just couldn't put it together. So now finding out about this fraud stuff makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And you know who I feel bad for, other than me, for paying for that shit with my taxes, is Somalians who came here on the up and up and who didn't break the law.
Exactly.
As a
That
black
makes sense.
man, I know how it feels to be judged because someone else with your same skin color did some stupid shit that you wouldn't approve of. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, but one thing I do know is I've been saying for years we need to kick Tim Walsh out because he knew about this shit from the beginning.
One thing about it, a lot of people definitely have different views, on, and using that, using different things. But I do say, taken from what he's saying, I truly feel, some of the things that he's saying, when it comes to, somebody that obviously went the right direction about it, and on the come up, but then you have individuals that make you look bad. And just like he said, and it regardless of your color, color of your skin, it can be a Hispanic, that has did something, or we're not even gonna say so much of coming here. Let's say, an individual that's born, here. And there's, another Hispanic that, messes that up and had, other Hispanics that mess that up and they get thrown in that. So, you can go with any other race, in these different communities, and have that bad rep. Police officers, they deal with it a lot. They deal with it a lot. My dad's a police officer. I have uncles that's police officers, and they deal with it a lot. You have that name, in this community, these police officers, they do this and they do it. But then you're going to have, some great ones that does an amazing job. But people had that bad rep. So I do feel as if what he's saying, but at the same time, there needs to be a lot of cleaning up, when it comes down to it. Definitely. I truly feel that way. Speaking of cleaning up, this is Minnesota Police Chief O'Hara asked for forgiveness for exposing the reality of Somali criminal activity in Minneapolis. Check it out.
community hadda caruurteena inaan garab istaagno chiefkana waa u baahannahay annagana waa isku baahannahay
عشان oo kamid ah odayaasha community-ga Soomaaliyeed iyo waalidiinta magaaladan degan ilmana ku koriyay.
The Somali community.
I'm not looking crazy because they speak in obviously their language or whatever. I should be, because I feel like, again, I ain't even trying to go there. I'm just saying, like, I feel like it's just, I don't know, bro. Let me just shut up. I'm gonna shut up. But one thing that I do say, this individual in the back, I'm gonna find out more information about him. They have an individual that's a police officer. I wanna check that out. I definitely want to check that out. I seen something earlier about a Somali police officer, and I don't know if it's him, but I need to check that out.
Community here in Minneapolis has been welcoming and has shown love towards me, and I appreciate it. Over the last 3 years, we have been working together to try and address some of the real serious problems that we have in our community. We have to be honest at times with the problems that we're having in our community, and we need our community to help us fix those problems together, because it's real and it's serious. At the same time, if people have taken anything that I have said out of context in a way that's caused harm, I apologize, and I'm sorry for that, because that's not my intention at all.
That is insane. I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely insane that, you have an individual, this police chief, that is apologizing for the things that they're doing constantly. And like, I truly don't get it. It gets worse. This Democrat mayor of Minneapolis says they're up to 100 federal agents coming to the city to focus deportation efforts on the Somali community. One thing about it, it's a good thing, definitely a good thing, because again, it's a lot of cleaning up to do. Check it out.
To respond to a number of credible reports from several media outlets relaying that there are as many as 100 federal agents that will be deployed to the Twin Cities with a specific focus on targeting our Somali community. To our Somali community, we love you and we stand with you.
That is insane.
That commitment is rock solid. Minneapolis is proud to be home to the largest Somali community in the entire country. They've been here for decades in many instances. They're entrepreneurs and fathers. They benefit both the culture and the economic resilience of our city. Targeting Somali people means that due process will be violated. Mistakes will be made. And let's be clear, it means that American citizens will be detained for no other reason than the fact that they look like they are Somali.
They're all in on it. This mayor is too. You got Tim Walsh, you got Ilhan Omar. They're all in on it. They're obviously saying, and I get it. I truly get it. There are individuals that, took that right route, took the route that they were supposed to take when it comes down to it. But there are a lot. We're talking about with what, 78, 79 that was actually in one of those cases, of $1 billion of fraud. So, I mean, it goes not, that's just one thing. We don't go into everything else. That's just one thing. But out of that one thing, we're talking about 79 individuals. I'm telling y'all, they're constantly enabling this, and it's definitely sad. Check it out. Congressman Randy Fine.
I filed a bill called the No Sharia Act that would ban all of this stuff. And I hope that everyone will sign on to it and support me in passing it. And I think we need to speak loudly and clearly. You should not be able to play the call to prayer at 3:30 in the morning in Minneapolis. A Muslim mayor in Dearborn should not be able to tell a Christian preacher that he is not welcome there. The kind of hate that you can find at so many of these mosques around the United States, it's simply unbelievable. And so we've got to say, people do not have the right to come to America. If you don't share our values, don't come here. And if you're here already, send them home. The left is doing this by design. They want to invade the country. They want to destroy the country from within. That's how Mamdani got elected. He did not get elected from natural born citizens. He got elected by people who just came here and do not share our values. We have got to stop with the suicidal empathy of letting these people in who simply hate this country. And the other thing we can do is we can tell them no free stuff. I've got that bill too. No welfare of any kind to not only illegal immigrants, but legal immigrants as well. If you're coming here for free stuff, stay at home. Look at the percentage of the Somalians getting free stuff. It's unbelievable. Regular Americans should not be paying for any of this.
Exactly. And I say that, and I agree with him for saying that, it says right here, legal immigrants who hate America are getting free stuff. Hard Americans shouldn't be paying for any of this, and my bill would put an end to this insanity. And one thing about it is I truly, support that, because I feel like it's definitely messed up. Y'all know that I always say, multiple times that I find it completely messed up, that you have individuals that are getting all this free stuff, and there's people that's literally been going through everything, no matter what color you are, no matter anything. And then on top of that, you're having people that's actually serving the military that it takes a while for them to get, free things, and things that, that they actually need. I'm saying free, but, y'all get what I'm saying. I find it completely insane. There's people that's actually needing this. You heard the guy, literally saying that they're pulling up in nice cars. They're having money, clothes, shoes. They're getting all this stuff. And I find it completely insane. I'm telling y'all, I find it completely insane. It's definitely sad. I'm telling y'all. It says right here, this woman is from Dearborn, Michigan, and is heading to Minnesota to confront Ilhan Omar. Check out what she has to say.
70,000, 80,000 Somalis sent to Minnesota so they could vote in Ilhan Omar. That's how it was set up. Do you know that they are inbred so much that their IQ is between 60 and 80? If y'all don't get y'all fraudulent, scamming, cross-eyed, big four-headed, incestual asses up out of here. We know you married your brother. Take y'all illegal, scamming asses on. Get out. I'm on my way to Minnesota. I'm on my way to ask you questions. You didn't want to say nothing to the white boy that was asking. You wanted to threaten the white boy, but I bet you won't threaten me. I bet you won't tell me to get the phone. I bet I won't. Let's go to Minnesota. Let me call my brother and my best friend, and let's start a TV show. Let's go around to all these damn places and figure out what the f is going on. I'm already in Dearborn. Let's start there first. Those need to go to.
Well, I should definitely say there's a lot of curse words that I had to take out of this video. But I do have to say that you do see the frustration that's coming out of a lot of people. Not even people that actually are residents there, but people that's actually seeing all the corruption and all the messed up things going on in these cities. People are starting to notice. I'm telling y'all, people are definitely starting to notice, and they're starting to catch on. They're starting to catch on. I'm telling y'all. Definitely sickening. Definitely sickening. This is another post by Nick Shirley. If I'm saying his last name wrong, I definitely apologize. But Nick Shirley definitely has amazing videos. And I wanted to show y'all this because it just goes to show y'all more so of what things are looking like in Minnesota. Check it out.
Inside of this town of St. Cloud, this is one of the many Islamic centers here. This is a mosque here, but something that's super interesting about this mosque right here, it actually used to be a Lutheran church. You can see right here on the backdrop of this wall right here, this used to be a Lutheran church. So that just shows how much of the population has shifted from Christian to Muslim as far as the people in the population here inside of this town, as this used to be a Lutheran church. Now it's an Islamic mosque. So right here is the St. Cloud University, and we were just at that mosque right there, and then if you go another block over, there's another mosque. And then what's interesting is right next to this mosque right here, there's a Presbyterian church. So you have two churches right next to each other, one worshiping Allah and the other worshiping God. English?
So they just turn everything into their own thing.
Anybody speak English?
They trying to turn it to Somali.
How are you?
Good.
Good. How would you describe the rise of Islam here inside of Minnesota, or inside of St. Cloud?
We have talked to. It's coming.
And are you from Somalia?
Yes.
And what year did you come here?
Come here at 19.
What's attracting a lot of people to convert to Islam?
I don't really have much knowledge on that, but basically human life crosses and all that, you know.
Don't you think, like, I'm gonna be 100 with y'all. I'm gonna make a whole bunch of sense to a lot of people, and y'all probably think the same way. If I get any hate on this, I don't really care. I gotta say it because it's messing with me. When you think if somebody were to come to your country, you will want to learn their ways, respect their ways, and do everything, you know, like you do when you travel somewhere. You know how you would travel somewhere, no matter where you go, you respect that. You don't, you go around, you shop, you look around, you do what you need to do, you know, in a respectful way. Because you don't really know, you know, as much. You don't sit there and you be like, oh yeah, we need to have a family meeting. We need to look at all their laws. We need to see everything that we cannot do. No, you go there in a respectful manner because America obviously teaches you a lot of that. You know, where you grew up at, there's a lot of respectful people going, you know, traveling. They're not doing nothing, you know, nothing too crazy, nothing, you know, too much going on. You tend to do that, correct? So my thing is why not, like, I'm just confused. How hard is it for them to sit there and be respectful, learn their ways? You know, you have multiple. I didn't see, this is my second video seeing individuals say, oh, I don't speak English. Well, learn it. Like, I'm just saying, like, how, like learn it. Because honestly, if I was to go somewhere, I would want to learn. I would definitely want to learn. You know, that's just like I go somewhere. You know, I that's just me. Like me personally, I feel like that's the right thing to do. So learn that. Not only that, but just, you know, respecting other Americans, not stealing, and not having so much like I don't understand.
Like what's going on around the world and stuff. Mm-hmm. I think something like that.
And do the people here in Minnesota, are they very receptive to Islam here?
It depends, I guess. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure.
And how long have you lived here for?
8 years.
8 years? And where are you from?
Somalia, Mogadishu.
And why are a lot of Somalians choosing to come here to Minnesota?
Different reasons, family, wages, a lot of different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I can dig it. America is great. But one thing about it is that you go about the right way. You go about the right way. And then once you go about the right way, having it being a privilege, you sit there and you be respectful. Meaning everything. Not just to your neighbor, not just to a restaurant, I'm talking about everything and everybody. You be respectful. And that goes for anybody that lives in the United States. You be respectful. I feel like so many people, they don't have that respect no more. How they respect? I'm telling y'all, they don't whatsoever. And that's exactly why President Trump is going to do what he needs to do. You literally have it right here. Minnesota citizens are outraged after a 2-time convicted R word. And y'all know what that R word is. Y'all know what that R word is. In Minnesota, named Abdemahat Billy Muhammad has been arrested for kidnapping and R word a woman. He was let out on the street despite his criminal history. Muhammad was sentenced in May in 2 previous R-word cases, but served no prison time, y'all. No prison time. It's time to lock in. Come on, President Trump. It's time to lock in. Says President Trump just went off on Somalis in Minnesota. Check it out. And I one thing about it, President Trump, he spoke the real in this. Check it out.
I hear they ripped off Somalians, ripped off that state for billions of dollars, billions, every year, billions of dollars, and they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries, too. I can say it about other countries, too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain, and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it. Thank you.
As y'all can see, President Trump was definitely serious. Definitely serious. And one thing about it is that, like I said, they need to show that respect. But, you know, obviously, it's definitely too late for that. President Trump is, you know, and will be making that move, not only to Minnesota, but also more into New York. So stay tuned for the next video. Definitely hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Catch you on the next one.